Your doctor just told you that your latest lab results are normal, but here is the hard truth for 2026. Normal is simply the mathematical average of a sick and aging population. In this new era of proactive health span, we don't aim for the middle of a bell curve. We aim for the biological ceiling of human performance. Most people approach biohacking entirely backward, spending thousands of dollars on miracle supplements or extreme ice baths before they have even bothered to look at their own internal data. They are trying to tune an engine without ever popping the hood, and the result is usually expensive urine and zero measurable progress. This video marks the start of a 30-day deployment architecture designed to move you from guessing to knowing by establishing your baseline, the biological ground zero that reveals exactly where your organs are humming along and where they are straining under the pressure of modern life. By the time you finish this 30-minute masterclass, you will have a comprehensive framework for your molecular vital signs, moving beyond basic cholesterol tests to track the high-intent markers that actually predict longevity, such as your ApoB particle count, your 3-month HbA1c glucose average, and your systemic inflammation via hs-CRP. We are treating your health as an engineering problem to be solved rather than a destiny to be endured, leveraging the same data-led wellness strategies used by elite performers who prioritize their vitality span over mere lifespan. This is week 1 of our 30-day challenge, the foundation and assessment phase, where we silence the biohacking hype and replace it with objective biometrics from your wearables and clinical labs. For whether you are tracking your VO_ to max to gauge cardiovascular age or using heart rate variability HRV to measure your vagal tone, today is the day you stop being a passenger in your own body and start becoming the lead investigator of your biological future. Chapter 1. Pillar 1: The Blood Lab and Molecular Vital Signs. The journey toward establishing a biological baseline begins with what scientists now call your molecular vital signs. In the traditional medical model, blood tests are often used as a reactive tool, something we do only when we already feel symptomatic. However, in the high-intent world of biohacking, your blood is a predictive data compass. We are looking for optimal ranges, not just the absence of disease. The first marker you must demand is ApoB apolipoprotein B. While most doctors still focus on standard LDL cholesterol, ApoB is a far more accurate predictor of long-term cardiovascular risk because it counts the actual number of particles that cause arterial plaque. If you want to know your true heart age in 2026, ApoB is your gold standard. Next, we look at metabolic health through the lens of HbA1c and fasting insulin. While fasting glucose provides a tiny snapshot of your blood sugar at one moment in time, HbA1c gives us a 3-month weighted average of how your body handles energy. When we pair this with fasting insulin, we can identify insulin resistance, a precursor to almost every chronic disease of aging years before it shows up as high blood sugar. Finally, we must track systemic inflammation via hs-CRP, high-sensitivity C-reactive protein. Even low-level, chronic inflammation can rust your internal systems, leading to brain fog and metabolic sluggishness. By establishing these baselines now, you move from the one-size-fits-all advice of the past to a hyper-personalized protocol where you can measure exactly how your diet and lifestyle interventions move the needle on your internal biology. Chapter 2. Pillar 2: Digital Baselines and the Quantified Self. In 2026, the shift from step counting to biometric optimization is complete. We are no longer interested in generic activity goals. We are interested in your body's unique recovery architecture. The core of your digital baseline is heart rate variability HRV. HRV isn't just a measure of your pulse. It is an objective window into your autonomic nervous system. A high HRV indicates that your body is resilient and ready to handle stress, while a low HRV is an early warning sign that you are overtrained or under-recovered, often appearing before you even feel tired. Using devices like smart rings or advanced wearables allows us to track HRV alongside sleep architecture, specifically the ratio of deep sleep to REM sleep. Deep sleep is for physical repair and growth hormone release, while REM is for cognitive processing and emotional regulation. If your baseline shows you are getting less than 90 minutes of deep sleep, your biohacking priority isn't more supplements, it's fixing your circadian rhythm. Furthermore, The rise of over-the-counter continuous glucose monitors, CGMs, has revolutionized how we understand bioindividuality. By wearing a CGM during your baseline week, you can see in real time how a healthy bowl of oatmeal might spike your blood sugar more than a steak, or how a 10-minute walk after dinner can blunt a glucose curve by up to 30%. This isn't about dieting, it's about gathering data on your metabolic flexibility, the ability of your mitochondria to switch between burning fat and burning glucose efficiently. Your digital baseline turns the silent signals of your body into a visible, actionable dashboard, allowing you to gamify your health and compete against your own historical metrics rather than arbitrary benchmarks. Chapter 3: Pillar 3: Physical and Functional Capacity. While blood work and wearables tell us what is happening inside your cells, functional capacity tests tell us how those cells perform in the real world. In the longevity community, we focus on a vitality span, the ability to remain physically capable well into your 80s and 90s. Point 3: The ultimate baseline for this is your $VO_ to max dollar. This is a measurement of the maximum amount of oxygen your body can utilize during intense exercise, and it is the single strongest predictor of all-cause mortality. If your $VO_ to max dollar is in the bottom 25th percentile for your age, you are essentially aging at an accelerated rate. Establishing this baseline allows us to prescribe specifics to our HIIT protocols to reverse your biological age. Alongside cardiovascular fitness, we must assess structural health through grip strength and visceral fat. Grip strength is a powerful proxy for overall muscle mass and nervous system integrity. A decline here often mirrors a decline in brain health and metabolic function. To get a deeper look, we utilize the DEXA scan, the clinical gold standard for body composition. Chapter 4: Pillar 4: Somatic and Mental Baselines. One of the most significant shifts in wellness for 2026 is the transition from talk therapy to somatic, or body-based, healing. One, we now understand that stress and trauma aren't just thoughts, they are physiological events stored in the nervous system and the fascia. Establishing a somatic baseline means learning to listen to your body's internal weather. We use the concept of vagal tone to measure how quickly your nervous system can switch from a state of fight or flight back to rest and digest. During your baseline week, you will log not just your mood, but your physical sensations: tension in the jaw, shallow breathing, or gut discomfort, which are often the body's first response to environmental stressors. For the goal here is DIY regulation. One, by using objective data from your HRV tracker and comparing it to your subjective mood logs, you can identify which habits are actually calming your system and which are merely emotional suppression. Somatic practices like breathwork, cold immersion, and intentional movement are no longer fringe. They are essential tools for biological maintenance. One, for instance, testing your response to a 60-second cold shower can show us how resilient your mitochondria and nervous system are to acute stress. This chapter isn't about fixing your mind. It's about regulating your physiology so your mind has a calm, stable platform to operate from. When you establish a mental and somatic baseline, you stop seeing anxiety as a personality trait and start seeing it as a nervous system state that you have the power to influence through precise biological interventions. Chapter 5: Pillar 5: The Week 1 Deployment Plan. Now that you have the framework, we move into the actual deployment of the 30-day protocol. The most common mistake beginners make is trying to change everything at once. In biohacking, if you change 5 variables simultaneously, you won't know which one actually moved the needle. Therefore, Week 1, the foundation and assessment phase, is dedicated to tracking without intervention. Your only task for the next 7 days is to collect the data we've discussed. You will schedule your blood panel for $ApoB, $HbA1c, and hs-CRP. You will wear your tracker every night to establish your average HRV and sleep architecture. You will perform one functional test, like a 12-minute run or a grip strength assessment, and you will log your morning alertness and digestive health. This week is about building the habit of awareness. By the end of these 7 days, you will have a document that serves as your biological ground zero. You see that maybe your HRV drops by 20% on nights you eat after 8 p.m., or that your glucose spikes significantly after your healthy protein bar. This data is the most valuable health asset you will ever own because it is the only way to avoid the trap of biohacking hype, buying unregulated supplements that you do and actually need. We are looking for the low-friction wins, the 20% of habits that will give you 80% of your vitality gains. Day 1 starts with a single action: schedule the labs. From there, we build the momentum. By establishing this baseline today, you aren't just starting a challenge. You are beginning a lifelong practice of self-directed healthcare, where you are the lead investigator of your own biological future. As we wrap up this foundational pillar of the protocol, remember that the goal of this first week isn't to be perfect, but to be informed. You are essentially taking a 30-day crash course in your own biology, and that starts with the humble but powerful act of observation rather than immediate intervention. By the time you reach the end of this baseline week, you will possess a data-led compass that most people never bother to build, allowing you to move from guessing to knowing and saving you from the biohacking hype of unregulated supplements you may not even need. This assessment phase is the highest leverage activity you can perform on your channel or in your personal life, as it provides the biological ground zero required to measure true success in the coming months. Day 1 begins right now. I want you to head over to the Community tab immediately and vote in our first baseline poll, sharing which biometric you are most curious about so we can track our collective progress as a community. If you found this deep dive valuable, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because next week we are moving into the habit formation phase, where we will finally start putting your data to work to optimize your sleep architecture and metabolic flexibility. This journey is about more than just living longer. It is about establishing a vitality span where you thrive with age through a sustainable, evidence-based routine. I'll see you in the next video, but more importantly, I'll see you in the comments where your biological investigation officially begins.